top 10 people the CIA fears most. In the shadows of espionage and intrigue, there exists individuals whose very names send shivers down the spines of CIA operatives. Who are these enigmatic figures that strike fear into the hearts of one of the world's most powerful intelligence agencies? In this video, we will unveil the top 10 people the CIA fears most. So let's get started. Number 1. Pedro Lopez, a man whose troubled past set the stage for a rampage of unimaginable crimes across the landscapes of South America in the turbulent 1970s. But when the 1980s arrived, fate intervened and Pedro made a critical error, leading to his long-awaited capture. The moment he found himself in the clutches of the law, he unleashed a torrent of dark secrets, confessing to a mind-boggling number of atrocities. Brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because we're talking about a staggering 240 confessions, stacked upon the 110 they already had suspected him of. Can you even fathom the depth of this monstrous spree? Now, the skeptical police raise their eyebrows. Could this be a twisted boast from a deranged mind? But Pedro, cunning as he was, led them to a chilling mass grave, where the remains of 53 innocent souls were discovered. The evidence mounted, and justice seemed within reach. In a stunning turn of events, Pedro Lopez, the very embodiment of evil, was somehow released from the clutches of imprisonment in 1994. Yes, you heard that right. Released. A shiver races down your spine, doesn't it? But wait, there's more. He was then sent to a mental institution, only to be released from there a mere 3 years later, citing good behavior as the reason. Can you believe it? The audacity, the utter disregard for the lives he forever shattered. In 2002, whispers started to circulate, suggesting Pedro's involvement in a fresh crime. The needle of suspicion pointed towards him once again. Yet, since 1998, he has vanished into thin air, leaving authorities and the public alike in a state of bafflement. Pedro, the walking embodiment of nightmares, has slipped through their fingers, disappearing without a trace. Number 2. Introducing Harold Shipman, a name that will forever be associated with fear and horror. Dr. Death, as he was chillingly dubbed, orchestrated a reign of terror, suspected of snuffing out the lives of 218 of his unsuspecting patients between 1972 and 1998. How did this sinister physician manage to evade justice for so long, hiding in plain sight within the very walls of his medical practice? Shipman's ability to cloak his heinous acts was rooted in his position of trust as a physician. As the casualties mounted, shrouded by the evil of natural deaths, suspicion grew. It was the peculiar pattern of his patients expiring during the daylight hours, contrary to his claims that they had peacefully passed away in their sleep, that set off alarm bells. Shadows began to creep into the minds of those who pondered what malevolent secrets might lurk within the darkness. But it was a seemingly innocuous request for an unusually high number of cremation certificates that ultimately unraveled Shipman's web of deception. A local undertaker, noting this particular trend, sounded the alarm, summoning the attention of the authorities. An investigation was launched, initially met with doubts surrounding Shipman's culpability. That was until the untimely demise of an 81-year-old woman under perplexing circumstances. Her family, astute and vigilant, demanded a thorough inquiry when they discovered that Shipman had surreptitiously become the beneficiary of her insurance policy, a glaring crimson flag waving in the wind. I mean, come on. We all love our doctors, but leaving them our life savings? That's a bit much, even for the most loyal of patients. Adding to the mounting evidence, this woman had been in good health before Shipman's fateful home visit, only to succumb mysteriously afterward. A forensic examination of her exhumed remains revealed the chilling truth: a fatal morphine overdose that coincided with Shipman's presence. Further scrutiny unearthed a chilling modus operandi. Shipman systematically encouraged the families of his deceased victims to choose cremation. This explained his insatiable appetite for those certificates, as well as his elaborate efforts to assure them that the cause of death he pinned down was genuine. Convicted of 15 counts of his diabolical crimes, Shipman's reign of terror came to a long overdue end. Yet, even after his conviction, an audit revealed the true extent of his monstrous deeds. The estimated number of his victims soared to a staggering 236, a chilling testament to the depths of human depravity. Number 3. Richard Ramirez is also known as the Notorious Night Stalker, a name that still sends shivers down our spines. This wicked serial killer prowled the streets of Los Angeles during the chilling 1980s, leaving a trail of terror in his wake. His chosen hunting ground? Homes. That's right. Ramirez's signature move was invading people's sanctuaries, earning him the early moniker of the walk-in killer. But there was something even more bone-chilling about this diabolical figure, especially during the era of the infamous Satanic Panic. Ramirez had a penchant for leaving behind eerie satanic messages at his crime scenes, which sent shockwaves through the community. As if his murderous acts weren't horrifying enough, his sinister satanic connection added a layer of fear and intrigue. With each new pentagram discovered, authorities grew increasingly concerned, fearing that Ramirez might be a twisted disciple of Charles Manson, seeking to perpetuate his legacy of evil. But alas, Ramirez was his own breed of monster, crafting his own legacy of terror. Reports suggest that Ramirez left behind more pentagrams as his macabre spree unfolded. Not content with merely striking fear into the hearts of his victims, he demanded they swear allegiance to Satan, a disturbing twist that intensified the nightmare for those who crossed paths with this malevolent force. Even during his court appearances, Ramirez reveled in his wickedness, holding up a pentagram for all to see. He brazenly pleaded not guilty, punctuating his defiance with the bone-chilling declaration, "Hail Satan." Number 4. The enigmatic H.H. Holmes is a chilling figure, often hailed as America's first serial killer. Now, hold on to your seats, because this is a title no one should ever aspire to claim. While Holmes confessed to a staggering 27 crimes, brace yourselves. Some experts believe the true count might actually be closer to a mind-boggling 200. Yes, you heard that right. 200 lives extinguished by the hands of this monstrous individual. It's the stuff nightmares are made of. But how did Holmes manage to perpetrate such an appalling number of heinous acts? Well, my friends, it all boils down to one terrifying structure: a hotel. Picture this: a labyrinth nightmare nestled in the heart of Chicago. Holmes meticulously crafted this architectural abomination to be a house of horrors. The hotel boasted windowless rooms, cunningly designed to make escape nearly impossible. Just the thought of it sends chills down your spine. Holmes held the sinister distinction of being the sole person who knew every nook and cranny of this macabre establishment. And he ensured it stayed that way by hiring and firing multiple builders throughout its construction. Talk about diabolical genius at work. Secret passages and trap doors lurked around every corner. Soundproof chambers and doors that locked from the outside, concealing gas jets within. Can you fathom the terror? But wait, there's more. A safe, large enough to encase a human being. And yes, he actually used it for that purpose. Oh, and let's not forget the sizable chute connecting the upper floors to the dreaded basement. A veritable inferno of 2 towering furnaces and a trove of acid. The stuff of nightmares, my friends. But Holmes's reign of terror didn't stop at murder alone. No, he had a knack for manipulating women, ensnaring them in his clutches to gain control over their finances, before ultimately snuffing out their lives. And that's not all. Here's a red flag waving in the wind. He also coerced his employees to take out life insurance policies, naming none other than himself as the beneficiary. Talk about a glaring sign of a malevolent mind at work. To further fuel your nightmares, Holmes shamelessly sold some of his victims' bodies to medical schools. Holmes was discovered, captured, and sentenced to death. The exact number of his victims may forever remain a haunting mystery, but experts estimate it to be well over 200, an unimaginable tally of shattered lives. Number 5. Meet the infamous Luis Garavito, or as the media aptly dubbed him, the Beast. And let me tell you folks, that nickname hits the nail right on the head when it comes to describing the sheer horror of his unspeakable crimes. Brace yourselves, for we're about to delve into the dark depths of one of the world's most notorious serial killers. They say evil comes in many forms, and Garavito embodies the epitome of malevolence. The numbers don't lie, my friends. It is believed that this monster is responsible for a chilling victim count that soars into the staggering 300s. Yes, you heard me right. 300 lives brutally taken by his merciless hands. If that doesn't send a shiver down your spine, I don't know what will. Garavito may have confessed to 147 crimes, a bone-chilling admission. But here's the kicker, folks. When it came to the trial, he was found guilty on a mind-numbing 139 counts. Can you imagine the sheer magnitude of his heinous acts? It's enough to make your blood run cold. The court slapped him with a sentence of 1,853 years. That's right, 1,853 years. A symbolic gesture to reflect the magnitude of his wickedness. This trial unfolded in Colombia, where Garavito resides. Now, pay close attention, folks, because here's where it gets truly baffling. In Colombia, there exists a law that caps the maximum sentence at a mere 30 years. Yes, you heard that correctly. 30 years for a man who has stained the world with so much pain and suffering. I don't know about you, but that just doesn't sit right with me. And now, the real kicker. There's a chance that he could walk free before you know it, thanks to the concept of good behavior. Can you believe it? After all the lives he has destroyed, all the families left shattered, he might be released early. It's a bitter pill to swallow, my friends. According to Garavito himself, he committed these unimaginable acts because he struck a deal with the devil. And brace yourselves for this revelation, folks. Satanic rituals were allegedly intertwined in each and every one of his crimes. The sheer darkness and depravity that consumed his soul are beyond comprehension. Number 6. Now let's talk about the story of John Wayne Gacy. With a nickname like Killer Clown, it's no wonder that everyone would want to steer clear of this true embodiment of horror. Gacy, a seemingly harmless clown, entertained children at birthday parties and charitable events. Little did anyone know that behind that painted grin lay a darkness beyond comprehension. According to the man himself, his crimes were committed within the walls of his ranch house. It was there that he would lure unsuspecting victims, cunningly tricking them into wearing handcuffs under the guise of a magic trick. And that's when the nightmare would begin. It is believed that Gacy snuffed out the lives of around 33 young men, burying most of them in the ghastly crawlspace beneath his own home. But let's fast forward to that fateful evening of December 11, 1978, when Gacy took the life of his final victim, Robert Piest. Cunning as ever, Gacy enticed the young man by visiting the pharmacy where Robert worked. In a calculated move, he loudly boasted to the store owner about hiring teenagers for his firm, offering double the pay Robert received. It was an enticing proposition, one that lured Robert into inquiring further after his shift ended. But when Robert's concerned mother filed a missing persons report, the pieces of the puzzle began falling into place. The pharmacy owner revealed that Gacy was the last person Robert went to see about the job. As the police dug deeper into Gacy's background, the chilling truth emerged. The subsequent investigation, intense questioning, and thorough searches built a damning case against him. The evidence piled up, leading to his arrest and the shocking realization that Gacy held the record for the highest number of individual killings in United States legal history at the time. On March 13, 1980, Gacy received his rightful punishment, a death sentence. And on May 10, 1994, justice was served as lethal injection coursed through his veins. I must say, folks, it's a moment we can all breathe a sigh of relief for. Number 7. Now meet Albert Fish. Despite being one of the oldest names on this list, his heinous crimes are anything but forgotten. Known by chilling monikers like the Brooklyn Vampire, the Moon Maniac, or even the Boogeyman himself, Albert Fish embodied pure terror. Brace yourselves for the terrifying tale of this despicable human and the unspeakable acts he committed. In the early 1900s, Albert was apprehended, put on trial, and convicted of the gruesome murders and cannibalism of 3 individuals. But Albert had more to reveal. He shockingly claimed that the known count of 3 victims was a mere fraction of his dark deeds. According to this twisted soul, the actual number of lives he ended was closer to a staggering 100, spread across every state. Can you believe it? Absolutely repulsive. This deranged lunatic went so far as to send a letter to the mother of one of his victims. He meticulously detailed how he lured her innocent child and the unspeakable horrors that followed. Just imagine, he had the audacity to describe the unimaginable act of devouring her over the course of a horrifying 9 days. It's beyond comprehension, folks. Absolutely chilling. Number 8. Sam Little. A name synonymous with pure evil will send shivers down your spine. He has confessed to snuffing out the lives of over 90 individuals, while authorities have only been able to definitively link him to 30 murders. They have no reason to doubt the authenticity of his bone-chilling confessions. What allowed this sinister figure to carry out his heinous spree for so long, you may wonder? Well, he was cunning enough to commit his gruesome acts in different states and counties, leaving investigators scrambling to connect the dots. But make no mistake, the depths of his malevolence were unfathomable. In an interview with the seasoned investigator Sergeant LeBlanc, the topic turned to religious beliefs, sin, and the nature of evil. And there, Sam revealed the darkness that consumed his soul. Fearless and unrepentant, he declared his lack of fear for any divine judgment. In his twisted mind, he believed that God himself had molded him into a harbinger of death. To Sam, there was no need to seek forgiveness, because in his eyes, God knew every grisly detail of his monstrous acts. But that's not all, my friends. Allegedly, he even went so far as to proclaim to select individuals that he believed he was none other than the devil incarnate. With that said, thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. And if you found this content helpful, give the video a like. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.